on the eastern side of New Hampshire, bordering Maine, lies the beautiful getaway town of Conway. When driving through town, it's easy to get distracted by the pristine views of Mount Washington, the outlet stores, and ski-side resorts that tourists travel from across the country to take in. Unbeknownst to most of its visitors, however, Conway is the epicenter of an American-Canadian Tour dynasty, Dale Shaw Race Cars.
It's not really a big racing community around here, but it's what we've always done, so it's normal to us, and we don't have a ton of people in the area interested in what we're doing, but we're not that far from any racetrack. We're close to White Mountain, we're close to Oxford, and it's not a bad location. It's just not in the backyard of anywhere.
Well, I was the kid that had all the snowmobiles and the skis and went skiing every weekend and during the day with my friends and all that. But I, being DJ's neighbor, Dale's neighbor, I always wanted to start the go-kart thing, and my dad's like, no, that's a waste of money. Not doing that. You're going to work for me, so on. And Dale finally let me take a go-kart apart and put it back together and made me go home crying every day. And now here we are. I work here every day and don't have a snowmobile, don't have skis, and don't hang out with friends other than DJ, and that's what we do every day, every night, and every weekend.
Owned by the New England racing legend himself, Dale Shaw Race Cars is not only the home to the top two finishers in last season's point standings and two-time defending champion, but also where a shocking percentage of new ACT cars are built, repaired, and maintained.
It's overwhelming this time of year, but it's a very good problem to have, I guess. But every year you wonder how you're going to get everybody's car done and keep them happy and keep them in victory lane, and just keep working harder and harder to do that. And we're fortunate to have a good space. It's not a cup shop, but it fits a lot of cars in it. So that's the important thing for us. But it gets the job done, and we've had a very good run on the ACT side of things. Ourselves, Gabe, all the customers really just. That's been our majority of our business the last 10 to 20 years, I guess, and just always trying to find the next big thing in here and get it to the racetrack.
Racing is way more than just a hobby for both drivers, which has inevitably led to some interesting days at work after a bad day at the track.
I would say we've both been fairly mature at not letting it affect the work day. It's rather quiet when we have our issues, but we get our job done and coexist until we're ready to talk about it, I guess is the best way to put it. It's like we're brothers, and we really do act like that. So you're going to fight with your brother, and you're going to not talk to your brother for a day or two, and you don't have to agree. You just have to move forward, and basically I think the biggest lesson we both took away from this year was collectively, like, we just need to worry about winning the races and not each other, and we got a lot better at that in the moments as the season progressed. I feel little hiccups at White Mountain here and there, but I think we figured it out in the race. Like, we handled it in the moment, and it was done when the race was over. We didn't talk for 6 hours on Monday, and then we're just fine. Like, somebody makes the first joke, and then it's off to the races from there. Then it's just it's a ball buster for the rest of the off season.
He still won't talk about the last Oxford race with me, but we usually only make it to lunchtime before we start talking again, and we do handle it very well. And he probably doesn't smile ear to ear when he's running into me like I do him, but only one time has Dale had to get involved because we should have finished first and second and probably had the top 5 in Shaw cars, but instead I finished first and he finished 14th. And I came in Monday morning and Dale was choking over the scrap pile and gave us a stern talking to. And we were a little bit better after that, but we've both talked a lot over the winter and know what we want to prove for points this year, and we want to finish 1-2 no matter what it takes, no matter who wins, and that's the goal.
I don't know. It's just we don't take criticism and coaching from one another that great. I think we hear it and we don't want to admit we did, but it's always there. And you think about it in some of those split-second things, but otherwise I think we just kind of one another lead by example. Just kind of, if I see him make a mistake, I learn not to do it that way, and vice versa. I'm still far from immune to having Gabe moments, so I do that plenty, and obviously the goal is to keep them days to a minimum, and he's getting better at that too.
Gabe led the point standings heading into the final race of 2023 at Waterford, but an injury sustained the night before the race, combined with a string of bad luck on race day, worked against his hopes of winning the title. In 2024, he's got a chip on his shoulder and is ready to win it all.
Well, first of all, there will always be a Gabe moment, some point in the race, and that'll never go away, unfortunately. And DJ seems to be the culprit of the Gabe moment 90% of the time in Act Tour, but we just, when you get criticized by your important people like DJ and Dale, when you do something wrong, you learn from it, and you might not want to admit that you learn from it, but you do think about it when you do something stupid the next time. And we just worked really hard to put the end of those races together, and we achieved it most of the times. And I know looking back at the end of the year, like after the end of the year, we should have won probably 6 races last year, and we didn't because of me. And that's tough to swallow because it probably would have won the championship without choking the last race. I could have choked and still won the championship, and we didn't do that. So I feel like it's a bigger fire lit this year to go back and do that, because I'd really like to win those 6 races that I failed to win last year and pull that off and beat DJ hands down for the championship this year. Yeah, it's just like there was like a 20-point gap between me and DJ from like Lee to Oxford, and then we were tied after Oxford, I think, or after the heat race at White Mountain, and we just it was just chasing him was our goal every week, and we accomplished that and accomplished that and accomplished that over and over, and we did really well at it, and Matt really pushed me to be better, and I knew that I could come in week after week and say, ha, I'm catching you, Deej, and that was the best part about it. And then just going to Waterford, like, I felt like we were going to our best racetrack and everything was going to be fine. And then obviously everything happened the night before with the go-kart, and that didn't lose us the championship, though. It was just, we struggled. We were really good in practice, and we drew the best heat race, drew last of the best heat race, and just didn't succeed all day and struggled. So we lost it, and that's really going to push us to be better this year.
DJ won a pair of races in 2023 at Stafford and Waterford, taking home his 2nd consecutive ACT crown. Now he's looking for more in 2024.
3 years ago we had one slip away, and it kind of felt like that had happened again last year, and just Gabe had a bad day and I had a great day, and it just circumstantially fell into my favor that day. And either way, for the shop it was a win, so I felt less pressure, I think, that way. Obviously selfishly you wanted to win yourself, but we both did. But it's better than a car not out of here, and we both know that too, so it's always good to have that in your back pocket going into it. I would really love to win the Milk Bowl, because I consider myself a long shot there, and if I consider myself that, then probably a lot of people, I'm not on their radar to ever win. So it's just that's the marquee one. I complain every year that we have to do that race, and I have a blast with it every time I do it. So that would be my number one goal. I would say to get an official win at Loudon would be right up there as well, and just, anything, just trying to keep adding to the win total. That's the main goal overall, and just every week you go, that's what you're trying to do.